another meatless Monday. Hi.
Hey y'all.
Today we're going to be doing a get ready with me, and we're going to be talking about what we eat in a day and how do you adjust to college life, and also reducing the amount of meat that you eat. We are about to go to our cryo formal, so
That's our
why.
sorority, in case you don't know. Love that life. So what I've done personally to reduce like my intake of dairy and meat is I eat at least one meal a day that is completely meat-free, no eggs. I really cut back on like cheese and yogurt and ice cream. Like I only take that stuff in very small doses if it's like a super special occasion. I feel like, you know what, like treat myself. I think the biggest thing for me is I honestly don't eat that many actual meals. I drink a lot of coffee, and I've stopped taking dairy in my coffee, or if I put anything in it, I'll put like sugar-free syrup and soy milk or oat milk or almond milk. Oat milk is my favorite substitute by far because I think it's just the most like regular milk, I guess.
Yeah.
And like texture and taste. So I'm kind of like a big fan, and honestly sometimes it tastes better. So that's a good one.
Yeah.
What about you?
For the most part, I do the same as Haley. I don't really eat breakfast for the most part because I wake up a little late. But
TikTok.
I usually try to eat at least a little bit of meat just because I have low iron. So that's a thing, how to be a reducetarian with low iron. So I am the type of person that it's as much like iron pills as I take, I still like have to eat some kind of actual meat. So I usually try to eat like leaner meat, usually not like beef because the cows of that industry get the worst of it in my opinion, because they can use them for almost all of their parts. So I usually try to stick with chicken, and I never eat Tyson because I could go on for days, but I usually eat like
We'll
chicken.
make a separate video about that.
Yeah.
I look like a little warrior. Also there's really good like alternatives. Like what I just eat. What I always have in my freezer are these vegan chicken patties that I pop in the microwave in my dorm for like, I don't even know, it's like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's ready, and I have it with mustard. It's really good. And they taste like chicken and sometimes better than chicken. I don't know. That's what I think is really cool about.
There's also like vegan bacon.
Yeah. The way our world's developing is that so much stuff is being like made right now that's supposed to be like alternatives to eating meat. So it's just really cool. Like you're continuing. There's so much stuff that's continuing to be developed that's like meat or better, that you have so many options if you just look for them or if you want them. So I think that's really cool.
And that's something we mentioned in the last video of just like eating mindlessly. Like when you're in the grocery store, sometimes less meat is going to be more expensive, but it doesn't necessarily have to be if you actually do research on the things that you buy.
Also, getting a Costco membership is a great thing. You can buy in bulk, lasts you a while, and a lot of non-meat products last longer just because of the way that they are treated and because it's not meat and you're not just putting it in the fridge. You can do a lot of things that are frozen, and I know some people are like, fresh, never frozen, but like your freezer is a great tool. Use it. I don't know.
But
Y'all, I got a spray tan. I just put on my normal makeup and I look pale. Look at my face.
you're reversing your spray tan.
I didn't even put it that way. I put it forehead, under my eye.
Those are
nose, and
eyebrows.
my chin. I don't know.
Those
how
are
many eyebrows.
thick ass eyebrows.
Girl, you look mean. Come and follow people that eat only meat. Carnivores.
I'm done.
Fuck, I used the wrong brush.
So other things we eat.
Oh, also, something that's in like just American culture is we don't eat enough fruits and vegetables. So by being a reducetarian, I tend to eat like, if I eat breakfast, I'll grab an apple. I'll eat an apple for breakfast. And then whenever I get hungry, I have this dairy-free like yogurt dip, and I eat it with broccoli or cucumbers, and that's really good. There's just so many options and things you can snack on. Because a lot of times whenever you're hungry, you're like, oh, I'm craving salty things. You're actually having deficiency somewhere else in your diet. So it's really cool, like, to even research that part of being reducetarian. Is what are the things that you're actually wanting, and how can you better take care of your body while you're taking care of the rest of the world.
And again, reducetarian is a general word. When we say reducetarian, we mean, you know, like flexitarians that eat like fish, or
That's pescatarian. That's another one.
pescatarians.
Eat only fish. And although that's also not a great option, because we are we are like overfishing our oceans, and we are taking out so many subcategories of different species, and like salmon and salmon roe and everything, like really great tasting things, but at the end of the day, like, the way that we're such a consumer culture that we just want more and more and more all the time. And the more that we take, the less there is. Which sounds redundant, but I don't think that people fully process the fact that I'm taking so much out of the world and out of my oceans, out of the fields, everything, that there's not going to be anything left at the end of the day. So, like, give and take. Would you rather be something in the future by you choosing to have, like, a salad or a bean burger or, like, whatever you want, instead of just eating, like, a beef patty or, like, salmon?
I mean, these people, like, that sell this stuff are not going to stop. Like, you buy it and you buy it and you buy it, and, like, they will do whatever it takes to get as much out of these animals as possible for you to be able to buy it, because they don't care, because they're trying to make money. So the more you buy in these big bulks, and you eat, you know, 3 or 4 meals with meat every day, it's like, that's how many animals all of America are eating. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I see a crap ton more people than I do animals when I walk down the street. So, like, that being said, where are they keeping these animals? Well, they keep them in bulk in these little bitty, like, black spaces where they don't take care of their own health. So it's like, if the animal that you're not eating is not being taken care of, what exactly are you eating? You know what I mean? You're eating bruised up meat that has been fed till its legs break. Like, it just comes down to, like, think about those things when you eat, when you buy, because for the most part, it helps me to be like, okay, what exactly, like, where did this come from? You know what I mean?
Also, it helps just to open your eyes. Like, I'm from Texas, so we have a lot of farms. That's a huge part of our economy in Texas, is farming, cattle raising, all of it. But driving from my home to school, I'll see these huge trucks that are toting around just crates upon crates upon crates of chickens that are stacked. They can't move. They are sitting on their legs like a little ball, and there's chickens below them, chickens above them, up 15 tiers high. And it's awful to see, because they are obviously suffering. Because that's like, whenever I see them, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm at least 3 hours from any city.
Like, people can barely be okay in an elevator.
Think about
these animals.
And for some people, it's hard to humanize animals. The thing is, they have feelings too. They have connections. They develop relationships. They appreciate things. Like, they also have a certain form of empathy. And some people will look at, like, people and be like, that chicken's stupid, it doesn't have any actual feelings. But, like, okay.
When you hit it, it's gonna
hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt. And I was just reading a paper today about a scientist who was doing this study on rats. And there are 2 rats in a cage, and one of them is compressed into this really small box and is crying out for help. Will the rat go help his peer even if there's no incentive, there's no treat at the end of it, there's nothing like really to encourage him to do so. And throughout all the tests, they were able to conclude that rats have some form of empathy, and we see rats as the low of the low. Think about even more complex animals, bigger animals, because we tend to see size as grander. So I think that's just really interesting. Like, we don't pay attention to all these animals as creatures that were born or living. We see them as what can they do for us, and it just adds on to our selfish nature. My face doesn't look that pale. I think did I fix it a little bit, or does it still look really pale?
You're okay. It's like right here, that's a lot. I would try to darken.
Yeah. Bronze. The struggles of a brown though. We get it out. People do it. That's racist. You're racist! We also have like 9 minutes right now.
Yeah. Is that good?
Kind of vibing. Well, I mean, like, do you have anything else you want to say, or are you just fine?
I don't know.
Also, there are so many ways that you can take meat and dairy out of what you're eating at different restaurants. There's so many places that now like are making a point to have vegetarian options. And if you look on any menu, you can look for the little like V check mark and like the V in a circle that says vegan, vegetarian. You can ask people like, hey, like, do you guys have any vegetarian or vegan options already? Or what should I do in order to make sure this is vegan or vegetarian or pescatarian or whatever you are? Like, or whatever you're trying to identify as, because like I don't identify as any individual group. I've been a vegetarian, I've been a vegan at some point in my life, but it's not sustainable for me being so young and not having steady income. But I can reduce how much I take in and how much I eat.
That being said, like I know Chili's actually has a grass-fed burger, which basically means that instead of feeding the beef like this like dried up corn that they're not really supposed to be eating, they are actually grass fed, which means they get to roam and like live a decent life before they're slaughtered. So looking for things that have been like grass fed.
And you can also look for animals that are shown, like there are certain types of animals, I can't remember. I remember with turkeys, they're called heritage turkeys, and they've lived a full life. They are like born and bred on these like fields, and they just get to live their entire life up to a point where it's like, okay, they're about 12 years old, they're going to die soon anyways. And that's a better thought than just popping out a turkey. It cracks out of its egg, then you're feeding it corn, grain, all the stuff that it really can't digest and shouldn't digest, and then just killing it within like a year of its life. There are always better options even if you're still eating meat. There's a better way to do it. It's more consumer friendly, better for them, better for everybody involved. So it gets to a point where you're kind of wondering, why don't I just make a switch? Why don't I try to be a little bit better for somebody else, for myself even?
Yeah. So if you're at this point where it's like, okay, I don't really care about the animals because that's really not my thing. Like for me, I know being a Christian, there's been people tell me, well, God made animals for us to eat, so why shouldn't we eat them? Well, it kind of comes down to like how you treat people and how you treat animals. It's
big.
Thanks. Like just because we are supposed to eat these animals or like they were made for us to eat doesn't mean that we don't get to treat them with the same respect we would anything else.
And going like down that same train of thought, like I identify as a Christian myself as well. I understand not everybody does, but you see like there are movies like this movie called, I think it's called Seven. It's about the 7 deadly sins, and one of them is gluttony, and it's just more. You need more. You're taking in so much. It's just continuously consuming. And what's the point of that if you want to use like the religious viewpoint? And God made these animals for us to eat. Yes, he made them for us to eat, to live, but he didn't make them for us to use as a point of power, as a point to just abuse.
Exactly.
So there's a counter argument for everything, and this is just our opinion and what we've done research on and what we think is really important, and we would love to hear your thoughts on it, and if you guys agree with us or how you feel about the whole situation, or if you
have better points than we do.
If you have better points, if you have counterpoints even, like we would love to do like a Q&A or something. where you guys can ask questions or even just like have comments. But please be kind. We understand that everybody agrees, and some people will be like, oh, like, go meat all the way. Like, why not? This is just two people being people.
Two college girls trying to make a
Living
difference.
our best life.
Yikes.
Ooh. Yikes.
That being said, make sure you like and subscribe, and we will be back probably in the next
Sunday?
couple days.
We don't have a solid schedule. We're just trying our best.
Depending on when I edit this and post it. So, like I said, like, comment. Our Twitter is actually in the below description. And I'd love for you to check that out and give it a follow.
Tell your friends about us. Say there are a couple of, like, I don't know, children on YouTube that are telling you what to do. We'd love to hear from them too.
So, thank you so much for watching.
And we'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.